Hey guys, today we're going to be making 12 hot cross buns. I'm really excited to share this recipe with you. They are super soft and fluffy. You need to bear in mind that they do need 12 hours of proving time. So if you start around 7 p.m, they will be ready at around midday the next day. So we're going to need 240 grams of milk, 500 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of active bubbly starter, 2 eggs, 4 grams of salt, 113 grams of unsalted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 50 grams of sugar. I'm using cane sugar because it gives it a nicer colour and flavour, but you can use any other sugar. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. Instead of nutmeg, you can also use pumpkin spice. And 80 grams of dried mixed fruit, or just raisins if you prefer that. So first we're going to warm up the milk so that the butter can melt inside. Mix the sugar and salt into the flour. So the butter has now dissolved and we're going to add it into a well in the flour. Now we're going to add the eggs and the starter. And we're just going to incorporate everything with the spoon at first. It's gone a bit difficult to carry on with the spoon, so I'm just going to use my hand and incorporate everything until there are no more dry bits. Once it's well combined, we're going to cover it with a wet cloth and leave it to rest for 30 minutes. While the dough rests, we're going to soak the mixed fruit in the 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We're now going to add the spices. Stretch and fold at least 20 times with a scraper or with your hand. Just make sure that the spices are well integrated. Cover it with a damp cloth and rest for 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to do another set of stretch and folds, about 20 times again. Cover and rest for another 10 minutes. Tip it onto the surface, sprinkle some flour on top, and then we'll flip it. So spread it out and we'll put the mixed dried fruit in there. And then we're just going to roll it. Sprinkle a bit of flour and we'll shape it into a rough ball. Just let it rest while you wash the bowl. Dry your bowl and just spread a little bit of oil at the bottom so it doesn't get stuck. And now I'm just going to do a few turns here. And put it in the bowl. Cover it with a damp cloth and another one on top. And we're going to let it rest overnight at room temperature for about 12 hours. Okay, it's been about 12 hours and it has more than doubled in size, so that is a good sign. Just going to gently stretch it out into a log and just cut it into 12 pieces. Shape them all into rough balls and distribute the dough so they're all roughly the same size. One by one, flip them round and tighten them. If it's getting too sticky, just wet your hands slightly and don't use any flour. You need to put a bit of oil on your tray so they don't stick, and then we'll just place them in there. Lightly oil some cling film. Cover it loosely with the cling film and then with a towel on top, and we'll let it rest for about 2 to 3 hours. It's been about 3 hours, and we're just going to uncover the buns and preheat the oven at 200 degrees. While the oven is preheating, we're going to make the cross. So for the cross you need 40 grams of flour and about 45 grams of water. You might need more or less water depending on the consistency, so this is what you're looking for. Put it in a piping bag. You can also use a sandwich bag and just cut off the tip of the bag. And we're just going to make the crosses. Put some boiling water in a tray. Put the hot water in at the bottom, and the buns will go in the middle at the same time. And we'll reduce the heat to about 170 for half an hour. Okay, it's been 25 minutes. I'm just going to remove the water, and I'm just going to leave them for about 2 minutes because they're already quite golden. Okay, so it's been about 27 minutes in total. So I'm just going to take them out because they're already very golden. For the glaze, I'm using maple syrup. I'll just brush it on top. Let it cool down for about 5 minutes, and then we'll transfer them into a wire rack. Let them cool down to slightly warm before enjoying them.